Hello student, today we are going to discuss about operating system and graphical user interface. In this session we are going to learn what is hardware, what is software, types of software, what is an operating system, features or functions of an operating system, types of operating system, at last types of user interface. So first we will see what is hardware. Hardware is nothing but is a physical part of a system, so that we can see and we can touch. So that is all hardware. So physical part means by touching we can feel, like a keyboard. Keyboard we can see and we can touch. Mouse we can see and we can touch. Monitor, printer, speaker. So those all are hardware. So that definition only given here. Computers work with an interaction of hardware and software. So this hardware and software both are interdependent, in the sense if you have hardware and if you do not have software means computer is of no use, and if you have the software and if you do not have hardware means again no use of the system. So both are interdependent and both are required to use the system, both hardware and software. Hardware refers to the physical parts of a computer that you can see and touch. The parts which you can see and which you can touch, so that is all hardware. See, for some examples are given here: keyboard, mouse, monitor, printer, speakers, motherboard. So that all the parts we can see and we can touch, we can feel the sense. So that is hardware. So next point comes software. Software refers to the instructions or programs that tell the hardware what to do. So software is nothing but it is a set of instructions. So that instructions tells what work has to be done, so what to do. So that software tells the hardware. It is not a physical part, means it is not a physical part in the sense we cannot touch the software, but it is stored on a physical medium. It is not a physical part, but so that software is going to store on a physical medium, like we can store the software in a CDs, we can store the software in pen drives, DVDs, hard disks. So that is all physical mediums. In that physical mediums, so that the software are going to store or going to save. Again some examples see here. So in this, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, then Adobe Reader, Internet Explorer, these all are examples of softwares. And here some more software names are given: Java, C++, Apache, PHP, Python. Means these all are actually programming languages. Okay, so that is also softwares only. Next point comes types of software. Software is of two types. One is application software and second one is system software. Application software means what? Application software, so that is designed to perform the specific task, specific type of a job. So that is all application software. Means for example, you take example of MS Word. MS Word is word processing software. So that software is designed to perform the job, to perform the work related to word processing. Next, MS Paint. So this software is designed only for painting. Next again, anyone music player, take example of VLC player. So that the job of that VLC player is only to play the music, play the videos. Means that softwares, that applications are doing specific work, specific task. So that is application software. Then the second type is system software. It is a collection of one or more programs that controls and manages the overall operation and performance of a computer system. System software controls overall performance of our system. It controls also and it manages all the operation, means the whatever the input devices have connected, whatever the output devices have connected. So the managing of that all the devices will be done by this system software. So this is also program, and so this program controls and manages overall performance and operation of the computer system. Some example for system softwares are our operating system. Our operating system is the best example for system software. What is an operating system? The operating system acts like an interface. the computer interprets the instructions given by the user with the help of an operating system. It is the master program which makes computer alive and helps to run different applications. So operating system is a must. Without operating system you cannot use any device, not only computer, other devices also. So all the devices have operating system. Take an example of mobile. Your mobile is having operating system, that is Android. So Android is the operating system. So with that operating system only we are using the apps, we are using the applications. Here it gives the interface for the user and software. So this operating system gives the interface for the user and the software. It interprets the instruction given by the user with the help of an operating system. So user is continuously giving the instruction to the system, and so that instructions will be processed in a system, in a computer. So to processing that information and to take the instruction from the user, the role of operating system is very big. Okay? So this operating system role is very important in a system. It is a master program. It is a master means if you do not have operating system means you cannot install application software. First operating system should be installed, then only you can install other software. Without operating system, no use of other softwares, which makes computer alive. If you want to keep your system alive, then this operating system should be there and helps to run different applications. Features and functions of an operating system. So here some features are noted here. The first one is processor management. Processor management means what? It is one of the most important functions of an operating system. Means whatever the data we are sending to the system, so that all the data gets processed. Okay, so that work will be done by the processor in a system. The operating system ensures that each process or application receives enough time for the processor to function properly. See, now what happens while working with the system, we will work with the multiple applications. Like while typing you may play the music. Means playing the music is one task and typing is another task. Here this processor management, it allots the particular time for all the application, whatever the applications are running in a system, it allots the time and it looks after that application whether that applications, that process are working properly or no, and it also tries to utilize as many as processor cycles as possible for the real time work. So how much size is required to process that data, so that is all will be looked after by these processors. Second one is memory storage and management. Now we are storing the files, we are storing the folders in a system, then we are storing also and we are managing also. Managing in the sense we are changing the name, we are copying, we are deleting, we are moving from one device to another device, so that all the work will be looked after by this operating system. So that is memory management, and where to store that file or folder, and so when you are going to manage that, so that will be looked after by this operating system. Next is file management. It maintains the file, means same copy, paste, moving, transferring, deleting, or organizing that file in a proper order. So that is all file management. Next is device management. Here for the system we will connect input and output devices. So in that some are plug and play devices. Plug and play device in the sense when you connect, automatically detects and it starts working, like a pen drive. To use that pen drive you need not to have any softwares in your computer, just attach that pen drive and start using, it works. Keyboard, attach it, you can use it. So that is all plug and play devices. So this all the plug and play device and other output device and input devices, so that will be controlled by the operating system. So that is device management. So the devices which are connected to the system, so that devices will be managed by operating system. Next one is security and protection. Now if you want to restrict the other users to access your system, then you can keep the password. So that is a security, in the sense nobody can access your account, nobody can access your system. So to protect that system, So we are going to keep a password for our system. So that is the security. So that security is given by operating system. So that is the protection, that is the security. So by keeping the passwords, we can protect our system. Next is the types of operating system. So there are different types of operating system. First one is single user operating system. In a single user operating system, what happens? Only one user at a time is going to use. Means only one user can be created in that operating system. Only one user can access that operating system. For example, Microsoft DOS, disk operating system. So that is single user. Next, Microsoft Windows 95 and all. So that is all single user. Only one user can access. Other users, you cannot create the users and all in your system. Okay? That is not possible. Second one is multi-user operating system. So more than one user can be created in a system. So that is multi-user operating system. In the sense, what happens? So those the users which we have created, so that all the user can access their accounts and they can do their work. For example, Windows XP, Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows 10, Linux, Unix. So that is these all are multi-user operating system. Multiple users can be used. Next is multi-processor operating system. A multiprocessor system consists of several processors, and so that processor shares common physical memory. Okay, so in this system, all processors operate under single operating system. So here multiple processors are given, and so that multiple processors share the common physical memory, means common storage. So that is multiprocessor. Multitasking operating system means more than one task. Task means work. More than one task can be done by using this operating system, multitasking operating system. So the ability to perform more than one task together at one time is called multitasking. Means more than one task can be done at a single time. So that is multitasking. Again, examples are same. So the examples, this only Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10 and all. Here, while working with the multiple application, we can switch from one application to another application easily and very quickly. Like if you are using Paint, if you are using any other application, so there same way you can play the music, or you can minimize that windows and you can play the games. So that is multitasking. More than one task are going on. Next is multi-threading. This operating system allows different parts of a software program to run simultaneously. So multi-threading, simultaneously same software's multi-parts are executing. So that is multi-threading operating system. So for example, if you host a game server, now if you install one game in a LAN, your friends will utilize different parts of the same game by connecting to your machine at the same time. All resources will be utilized from your machine, which can be performance degrading factor. Here, if you have installed one game in one system and if you want to share that game with your friends in a network, so network must be there. So in that case, so they can access. That is multi-threading. In the sense, from that same game, they can use a different component. That is multi-threading. Next one is real-time operating system. Real-time operating system is designed to handle real-life scenarios and problems. To solve the real-life problems and scenarios, so these operating systems have been designed. So these operating systems have the capability to prioritize the process, minimize the execution time, and work independently with no interdependencies, means without depending on others. So these operating systems can work independently and execute that task in a minimum time. So it takes a very minimum time to execute that particular application. Next is a distributed operating system. In a distributed operating system, that operating system is distributed over the internet. So in that case, others also can use that same operating system. So like for example, now distributed operating system runs on a set of computers that are located in different geographical areas interconnected by a network. Now that systems are located in a different parts, in a different locations. Then so that systems we are using, so that operating systems we are using, so that is It controls these interconnected systems and makes them appear as a single computer. So that system appears as a single system, and the users, those who are using, so they can access that all the systems. It allows all the linked machine to access data and software, and the process takes over the common network from a different computers irrespective of their location on the globe. Location doesn't matter here. So they can access their system, they can access the resources from that system, and they can do their work. So that is a distributed operating system. Now we have two types of interfaces. One is character user interface and second one is graphical user interface. Character user interface means there you, for each and every work you have to pass the command. So with that command only that computer works. For example, disk operating system. Now if you want to create a file, if you want to rename a file, so for everything, for each and every work you have to pass the command. Now here what happens, the drawback is, without having the knowledge of that commands you cannot use this operating system, this character user interface. You should learn the commands first, then only you can use this character user interface operating system. Now that is a drawback, in the sense first learning the command, then only using. Now graphical user interface. In a graphical user interface what happens, the graphical access is given like icons, pictures and all. So by using that, so directly we can access, like in a Windows you can see that in a Windows their icons are given. So by clicking on that icons, easily we can understand, we can open it, we can do our work. So that is, here we need not to have the knowledge. Understood? There is no restriction or limitation to have the knowledge before using the system. So if you do not know anything also, you can operate this system. So this is the last point. So here I am going to end this session. So thank you for watching. If you have any doubts and all, you can ask me at any time. So my number I am going to share with you in your WhatsApp group. So thank you for watching.